Hi everyone, and welcome to TXDZNY. Some of you might know me from my Instagram page, TXDZNY. This is going to be my YouTube channel, telling you guys about some of my opinions, tips, and advice for Walt Disney World. Um, Today's video is going to be about me introducing myself. If you can like and subscribe to this video to get this channel up and going, that'd be greatly appreciated. So, to go back to my childhood, I was born and raised in Long Island, New York, and moved to Texas when I was 13. Um, and I've lived in Texas pretty much ever since. I did spend a year and a half when I was 21 and 22 in Washington, D.C., but then moved right back down to Texas, and I've been down here ever since. I'm now 41 years old in the year 2024. Now I'll get into how my history with Disney goes. A lot of you have asked how I started my love for Disney. Well, starting at a young age, my family would take us to Disney World when we lived in New York. But every 2 years or so, maybe once a year, all depended on how everything was, we'd go down to Disney World. We'd always drive, generally speaking. My first visit was when I was 4 in 1986. And I remember that because it was a 15-year celebration, and I remember hearing that song quite a bit. And throughout my childhood, we go about every year or two. Um, that led up until I was getting into my teenage years, and we moved down here to Texas. And right around that time is when I started not really going as much. As a teenager, I didn't really have the huge desire to go like I did when I was a kid, and my parents would take me, which in hindsight I regret. Um, but I was very busy with sports and everything growing up. I played almost every sport imaginable growing up, and kept my summers and everything very busy. So I had other things going on. In the early 2000s, my cousins moved down to Tampa, which made the want to go down to Disney a lot more, being I could see them and go to Disney. So we'd go every year again once I got into my young mid 20s. So I had about a 5 year gap there in the late 1990s where I really didn't go to Disney World. But man, did I make up for it. When I started going again in the 2000s, I started going again every year. I met my wife back in 2012, and we've been together 12 years and married 10. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary. She, oddly, is from New York also. She's up from the Saratoga Springs area. She actually had a big love for Disney as well. She even did a Disney college program. It was just coincidental that we met in Texas and we both liked Disney. But that really jump started us starting to go to Disney World together, which we went on like 2, 3 visits when we were just dating, which we had a blast. Now we see that that's without kids, and we saw how much different it was then as a couple going there. And then it was back in 2013 is when I decided to propose to her in front of Cinderella Castle. So that's when our Disney love kind of took next level. We also wound up getting married at Disney World in January of 2014. We had our wedding at the Disney's Wedding Pavilion with our reception at the Grand Floridian. So we're a Disney married couple through and through. We also started going on lots of trips right after we got married, but we also wanted to start having kids right away. Well, with us having kids, we experimented a lot of difficulties with it. It took us almost 2 years to have our now daughter, who's 5. We had to go through IVF, had a lot of miscarriages. We even had a stillborn baby at 22 weeks. But we remained positive, and God wound up giving us our miracles in our daughter and our son. It was during our pregnancy issues that I started up my Instagram page, TXDZNY. It put that little bit of Disney magic in my day every day when times were tough. Just even if it was for 5-10 minutes, sitting there doing a Disney post and seeing what everyone was doing at Disney gave me a little bit of happiness in my life, and that did make a difference on me being able to stay positive throughout that whole entire time frame. So now fast forward to when we found out that we were pregnant with my daughter. We were actually at the 1 year from when we lost our stillborn baby. We decided to do a Disney trip, and we were about to try IVF for a second time. And it was while we were at Disney World, my wife started not feeling so well a day and had a little hunch that she might be pregnant. But even being pregnant at that time frame for us wasn't anything crazy to get excited about because we had so many miscarriages. So we still remained positive and trusted God. And when we came back from our Disney trip, did a pregnancy test, and sure enough, she was pregnant. And that was our first baby that wound up making it through everything. And that is now our 5-year-old daughter named Sienna, who you guys will be seeing on this channel. So that started us now wanting to go and obviously take our kids. We're firm believers in taking your kids even when they're little to Disney World. Will they remember it? No, but you'll still get to see that joy on their face. And even for you as a parent, getting to see how happy they are when they're there, even if they're 6 months old, really, really can brighten your whole entire vacation. So we took Sienna when she was 6 months old for our first time. Now we only went for a few days, and then we then went again when she was 1.5. And during this time frame, my wife was then pregnant with my now almost 4-year-old Carson, and Carson was born just weeks before COVID started. So we had a trip planned to go when he was right around 5-6 months. And that trip had to get canceled because there was a lot of restrictions, and we just didn't think it was the safest to bring a 6-month-old to Disney at that time frame. So we waited till he was 1 and took him for his first Disney trip. So both of them have been to Disney World quite a bit. We on average nowadays go about 1 to 2 times a year, which is expensive, but we do our Disney trips on different budgets. Previous to kids, we used to go to Universal and Disney World on our trips. We normally would go for about 7-8 days and do about 5 days at Disney or 2-3 at Universal. But with real little kids, a lot of the attractions at Universal Orlando aren't very kid-based, so financially it doesn't seem worth it for us to take small kids to Universal. So when they get bigger, we'll start going back in that trend. But as of now, we generally do about 2, maybe 3 trips a year for about a week each time. Day-to-day basis, I work a regular 9-to-5 job for the U.S. Treasury Department, and my wife works for a big financial company. So we stay busy during the days with our son. He's in a pre-K program. My daughter's in kindergarten. So our evenings are pretty much just get home and we just play with the kids and have a great time. Where we're always trying to plan our next Disney trip, and we watch a lot of Disney vlogs every day to get our information. I like several pages such as Tim Tracker, Page of Mr. Morrow, All Ears, Mammoth Club, Disney Food Blog, to name a few. We keep Disney in our everyday, day-to-day lives, and it truly makes each day seem like it's magical. A lot of people ask, why do we go to Disney World so much? I think a lot of you are probably watching the channel are a little Disney addicts too. So it's not something that for me and our family, it's not someplace you go once and we seem like we're satisfied. We try to go during different times of the year. Now, especially with kids, um, we really feel like each trip is different. When you take them at different ages, they get to go on new rides. Sometimes when they're hitting different height requirements. Right now, our kids are at that 40-inch mark where they get to go on new rides every trip because they hit a new height requirement, so they get to go on new rides. But we try to mix up our seasons. We just went during Christmas and New Year's, and we'll be going again in March because we love the Flower and Garden Festival at Epcot. To piggyback off of Epcot, we're huge Epcot fans. Even our kids are. It's hands down their favorite park. Um, I'm a self-proclaimed World Showcase drinking champion. My wife absolutely loves Epcot. She has ever since she was doing the Disney College program. Has always been her favorite. We love the restaurants. We love eating at the booths for different festivals. We love grabbing drinks around there. In future videos, I'll tell you some tips that we have for going around World Showcase and things like that. But we love going different times of the year because it feels truly like a different experience almost every time you go. So that's how we try to explain it to people when they say, "Oh, you're going to Disney World again?" A trip during Christmas seems a lot different than a trip, let's say, in spring or summer. We get to go in the pools and it's different festivals and things like that. I'll wrap this up by saying that I'm really excited to get this channel up and going. Future videos are going to be more about my opinions, advice, and tips. This is just really an introduction video, and I'm going to try doing about 1 to 2 videos a week for you guys while I get this channel up and going. So I'm looking forward to going down through this journey together and sharing our Disney experiences with you guys. Thank you. Make sure you like and subscribe. Bye.